what you like on the Insta podcast studio. In today's conversation, we are going to unpack what gender-based violence really means and how it shows up in our homes, our schools, relationships, and online spaces. Most importantly, what we can do as young people to speak out, support survivors, and break the cycle of silence. Now, I'd like my guests to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Venus Ali, and I'm with Curious Minds as a programs officer.
Thank you, David.
Hello, my name is Lupa Denisi Antiade, and I'm a field officer with BPG.
Thank you, Lisa. So my name is Yaya, and I hope this conversation brings about the change we need. And I am your host. So to start, Mavis, tell us about your views on gender-based violence in both physical and digital spaces. When we talk about gender-based violence, what has to be?
So I think that the name itself conscious is gender-based violence or gender violence. Let's let me put it that way. So there are two words here. We are looking at it when we talk about violence, it's inflicting pain or kind of abusing someone or taking that person's rights away from them, violating the person's rights. That is what the violence aspects of it means. And for this time, we have had a lot of gender-based violence happening because gender is not just about the person's physical, but it's a social construction. We know male, female, yes. And then when we are all different, we have differences when it comes to male and when it comes to females. And so when we talk about issues like rape, we know that females get raped the more.
Okay.
Yes. And then so it is just a form of just to explain it better for people to understand the pain that is inflicted upon someone based on their gender, based on their expressions, based on their identity. That is what gender-based violence means. And so anything that is done to a person or anything that is inflicted on a person, abused as a result of their identity, as a result of their gender, we term it as gender-based violence. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Lisa.
Okay, so I'll say that it's a form or it's something which is done to someone irrespective of the person's identity or where the person is coming from. So there are several forms of abuse. But one of the things that we often associate is like the physical one where someone's is taken because of like the person is attacked in terms of physical or verbal. So you find such incidents happening to someone in that particular setting. So it is taking someone's rights or someone's freedom or someone's peace. Because at a point, the person is not able to move freely or do something freely, express themselves because of how they feel in that particular moment.
I think just you asked in the physical and the online spaces, I think that we are talking about online spaces because young people find themselves most of the times online, right? Even as you sit, instead of maybe chatting with Luther, I'll be texting him. Yes, and so we have had a lot of people being abused online and with kind of verbal abuses online. We have a lot of cyber stalking where people are monitoring, they target an individual and decide to monitor them and then kind of abuse them. So sometimes even sending sexual messages to the people without they asking for them, and then kind of invading in their spaces. So someone sent a thing to you and like, oh, this is not what I do, so maybe minimize it, but people don't respect your boundaries that you didn't set. So these are some of the things that happen in the online space, and even the offline, like you mentioned, we are having a lot of physical abuse also and gender-based violence. Even in relationships, it's very rampant in relationships because we find issues of power imbalances playing out in those relationships, not just intimate relationships, but even like other family relations. Those are happening where decision has to be made and someone feels that because I am a male, I have the upper hand and I need to have the final say. Or where the female, when they also have the opportunity to say that, okay, I am in power right now, so hear me, whatever it is you have to say, we don't care about it. Exactly, let me show you where the power lies, because you have the opportunity to do the same. So once I'm in that position, I'm also going to say that. So we are having these power imbalances playing out in different kinds of relationships and even happening online as well. Like I mentioned, where people also are receiving a lot of hate speeches from others as a result of nothing, just because they want to make people uncomfortable online. And things that are happening physically are now being translated into the online spaces. So you won't find someone just punching anybody, but they are punching people with their words, punching people with the content they are creating, punching people with the things they are sharing, just to make people uncomfortable or to abuse them. And that's posing a lot of things that I feel we'll talk about.
To add up with the online, I feel since most of the young people are now migrating to that kind of space, lots of these youths have also taken advantage of it and making sure that wherever they find a lot of young people, that they try to take advantage of them, post content, and people will just come and then they try to take advantage because they feel you are too young to move in this kind of space and then go further. They just want to find something to just make sure that you are not able to do what you find pleasure in doing. So there's always this kind of like the abuse. It's now becoming very rampant when you check online. So when we talk about the online abuse, it is now becoming one of the main. The physical one is a little bit minimizing. A lot of the online abuse is now on the rise.
Okay. So I was going to go to you before you spoke, but how do you think this affects the young people?
I feel that it greatly affects them because they are still in their formative ages and a lot of things are going on. And most of these young people don't really have access to information. They are also trying to find themselves. And they are also trying to put their feet down and they are also learning. So most of these things go a long way mentally, emotionally, physically. And you find this young people, some will be very timid and it affects their daily activities. When you put them, this is something that you need to improve upon your skills and go online to do something that oh no, the last time I had a bad experience there, so I actually don't want to have this kind of experience. So it really affects even their way of thinking and what they want to do. So it's really something that needs to be addressed.
That's true. Because if from the point of physical abuse, if I am abused in the home as a child, leaving the home to go outside, my cognitive process, thinking process would be affected because if I speak up, what would somebody do to me? Because when I speak up at home, this is what happens to me. So once I'm outside, I'm conscious of what I say and what I do not say. But then I feel like in the formative stage of young people, they should be allowed to do what they think is right for them. And then with that, you would correct it that this is good, this is not good. So maybe let's hear your view on how that is.
Yeah, and you said something that young people should be allowed to do what they think is good for them. That is if they have been given the right and adequate information.
Exactly.
Because you have people also making them uninformed decisions.
Yes.
And so I feel that at a point in time, young people need to be given access to reading the information, because sometimes when you deny them getting the information, it's also a form of abuse because you are denying them of something that's important. Access to information is a right.
Yes.
Because without that information, how do you even express yourself properly? You would end up even abusing someone else because you don't know the right thing to do. And so I feel like now a lot of young people are isolating themselves as a result of some of their exposures in gender-based violence. So I come online, I post something, and people make very harsh comments on it. I'm not going to post again, or I'm going to go on a break for a long time. And that's for people who want to keep their peace, or people who are not valuing themselves. But if the person happens to be that violent, or even for people who may not be violent, they learn these things because it is meted out to them. It gets to a point they're like, okay, this is how it goes, so I'm going to do it to other people. Because that is the environment
they feel like we normalize these things.
Exactly. That is what has been done to them, and it's in their environment, and they pick up from there and then do it to other people. So people have been through a lot of traumas, that's emotional trauma as a result of their exposure to gender-based violence, either online or even offline. because you'll find people in homes where when it comes to gatherings, they don't even add themselves to it because they feel like you mentioned, whatever it is I have to say, nobody cares about it. So so why should I do something be punished when I know that I'll be punished for this? I wouldn't do it. So say what you have to say. I don't have anything to say, whether wrong or right. So you find those people that they become is it great?
Reserved.
Yes, reserved, and it's all the time introverted, and they are timid, and all the time things are being done to them, and they can't push themselves. They can't defend themselves, I should put it that way. So a lot of social isolation, a lot of traumas, a lot of psychological issues where people cannot even be productive as a result of they are always trying to process what is happening to them, always having to think about the pain that they are going through and feeling that, okay, nobody cares about these things, they are normal, it is just me that I am weak, so I cannot take them, that is why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. So they even invalidate the things that they are feeling instead of seeking help. So that's the kind of environment young people have found themselves in as a result of gender-based violence.
So, how do you think cultural or societal norms influence the way young people perceive gender-based violence?
I think this is the main topic when it comes to SGBV, because society has never been fair to young people. And there are certain where we find ourselves, from the house to the community to the church, has not really been to school. Like everywhere you find yourself, if you're a young person, it's like your limit is either you pick your bag, just go to like obey before complain. So that means you have nothing to say. Growing up, you don't even have a say in that. Like, you don't even have a say in any decision that is taken. If it's something related to your well-being, someone has to take it for you. Whatever you say, or like, but the thing is, it concerns you, but it will never be your opinion. Your opinion is only to when they take the food, eat it. So it has never helped. For cultural and societal norms, it has never helped, because those things are rather the ones that, like, these are places where these things really happen. The house, society, the schools, these are where the perpetrators are. But these are places too where you don't find that kind of freedom which is supposed to be so. It's really a headache when you try to put cultural and societal norms into play when you want to scrap up or address sexual and gender-based violence, because these are places where victims, everyone where like you get in contact with them, that is where majority of these things happen.
Just to add, I was just listening to a program yesterday, and they were discussing how you have to, the Bible tells us that we should honor our parents, obey your parents in the Lord. And then this is where the father has abused that child, and you are supposed to obey your parents in the Lord. So what do? You keep quiet, because you are supposed to obey. And he said, obey before complain. And who is even going to believe when you tell another uncle that my father did this to you? I mean, no one will believe, except unless they see the thing happening. People do that.
What did you do?
That's what you do. And at this age, in this modern time, you still find people, when maybe a girl is abused sexually, and they'll ask what was she wearing. I thought it had passed, but recently I heard some people discussing, like, you to the lady, sometimes you talk too much, you are like this. I'm like, but in this case, the person has been abused. Can we address that first before we even talk about what happened? Because whatever it is that has been done to the girl, any violation is a violation. Nothing justifies it. Whether the person was at fault, whether the person did anything, there are laws that are supposed to guide us. So you can't tell me because someone stole your bread, you have the right to slaughter that person. No, it doesn't work that way. And societal norms, again, like you mentioned, it's because of how we have been socialized. I mean, we have been taught how to grow, how to do things, and that has not helped all the time, because there are also some traditional norms in our societies that when it has to do with relationships, people find themselves in intimate relationships, and even when it's abusive, they have to be there because you don't have to separate. You shouldn't put yourselves as center.
I remember
yes.
in a house that I find myself moving from one place to the other in terms of our field work. And I remember one lady saying that, oh, for my house, even if you are married and someone is abusing you, because the Bible says their business, divorce is out.
Wow.
You shouldn't even consider divorce because the Bible, their business, and one of the values. You have to be there and endure all the pain. You just have to pray that one day God will change.
Well, and God has given us wisdom as human beings, and that is why He has given us emotions as well. When there's pain on you, you know this is pain and not excitement and not happiness. So I don't know why sometimes we decide to, cover up with religion or cover up with the beliefs that we have instead of being wise enough to say that humans created the norms that we find around us, that we walk by, and humans can change them when they are not helpful. So if you create a system where you say that, okay, girls are not supposed to go to school because they are not needed in the class, and now you realize that you need the girls to do something and they cannot do it, what do? You give access for that girl to go to school because you feel that, okay, if the girl goes to school, she can add up. Now you find, when I find people as common as maybe save a number on my phone for them, like, you see what you've done, you see what society has done. And yes, you find somebody that you expect to be able to, your own phone, you could say somebody that's your phone. Just because that person was denied information, that person was denied access to even exploring education, exploring the things that they have to explore. So it's not just about what society says we should do. Now let's think about what society has asked us to do. As an individual, is this helpful to you? How is it helpful to your society, the people around you? Society has said that keep quiet over violence, or you don't have to scream, you have to endure. But in enduring, have you thought about the consequences that it brings? And even the consequences on you affect the people around you. But we turn blind eye to them, we just overlook and pretend nothing is happening. Because if a woman has kids, she's supposed to take care of those kids. And here's that woman who is traumatized, always frustrated. She'll take it out sometimes on the children. And they'll also grow up thinking that, oh, this is how it works. And so they grow up becoming violent themselves. And what kind of society are we creating? With whatever norms we feel we have created for ourselves. So I think that the silence is one of the very big things that we should get over. And then when it comes to relations, we should be in relations with the people we feel are safe. Not people we feel society is endorsing. Because once someone has money, sometimes I watch certain things and like, because someone has power, someone has money, they cannot be wrong. That is what society thinks. Because they go about doing good. This person comes to our house, gives us they come to our house, give us money. And so when you say that, oh, this person insulted me, or this person did something, like this person touched me, they're like, if this person has touched you, we are supposed to be happy. I was coming one time and then these personal mates, roadside, I'm like, oh, I'm not going. Then they're lying out my waist. I'm like I'll slap you. That was harsh. But I was like, you get for a man to hold you.
Some people feel it's a privilege for
someone. You get it. So because someone is comfortable with that, it means that everyone else should be comfortable. But we should also understand that as humans in a society, we are different. And what is good for, if I touch Luther's ears, maybe he's okay, but me, when he touches my ears, I won't be okay. That doesn't mean if he touches me, I shouldn't say I'm not okay just because I touched him and he was okay with it.
I feel people are not okay, not because of that, but people do not really know they are being abused or they are being exploited. But when people get to know that this is not normal, they're like, oh, so this thing happened to me, but I didn't know, so I just took it as normal. Or people are informed about it. They now ask in authority because they now know it is their right for them to speak out and let people know that, oh, what you did was wrong.
And sometimes even in the base, because like I was saying, someone is okay with it, that is fine. That is no abuse of rights. But for someone who is not comfortable with it, it becomes a problem. That is where we need to find a distinction. Yeah.
So how do you think young people can protect themselves in their peers online? What strategies can they adopt in protecting themselves?
I feel a lot of education needs to be sent out there for young people to really understand what they put out there, the contents they are sharing out. Because if you are sharing a lot of information out, people would also want to use that against you. So we need to limit the sharing of information and which sites you are going. There are sites that people like take advantage of it because a lot of people are not really there. But wherever they find a lot of young people, we just need to know what you are posting and also make sure that you share certain information, like vital information to your friends and your peers on how they need to protect themselves. When you learn something about it, let your other peers know about it because that is the only way that they can get information. You should let information flow. You should give out the right information so that people get to know that this is wrong, this is right, this is how you go about it, this is how you stay protected, and also we should know the sites that we are going and learn more about it. There are sites that are open for people to just come and then talk anyhow and then people. But when you know the sites that you are going, like WhatsApp, now we have privacy setting and things, so people cannot just invade in your privacy and just talk to you anyhow and then just abuse you. We have the X and other side. With that one, because it's an open space, even yes, you can limit the discussion or limit what you are doing there, but you have to know where you are going and let people know when people are stepping their boundaries. Hey, let them know that this side you can't go off limit. You only have this particular limit with me. You can't exceed this particular language, and also know the kind of language and the words to put out there, which also let people understand where you are coming from. Even if it's harsh, it should be a very educative manner for people to know that, oh yes, this person understands what he or she is saying.
Yeah, so strategies, you've mentioned some of them, especially when it comes to the online spaces. That is where you can draw a lot of boundaries, but you fail to do that. So there are a lot of security settings when it comes to the apps that we even use on our social media. But not a lot of young people care to even check these things. But I feel that even if you don't even know where there's a setting that you can put on your privacy or your safe, whatever it is, there's Google. You can just Google how to keep safe on X, how to keep safe on Facebook, how to keep safe on Snapchat, all of those things. You get it. Now there's a lot of AI too. Just key it in what you need and then you find it. And I feel that sometimes they also have a role to play. Some young people feel that, the online spaces should take care of themselves and they go about doing anything, like posting anything. But sometimes I say this to guide us as young people that what you can't do, even physically, why are you doing it online? As a young person, an adolescent, takes a picture and then a nude picture, posts online. Can you be naked and stand in front of people in public? So why are you doing that online? Because social media is a public space. Look at me, social. So it's a whole society. So why are you doing that same thing you can't do physically online or in the digital space? So young people should find how to, control themselves. Sometimes because of how everyone is doing something, you are so eager to also join, follow a certain trend that you've seen. A lot of trends will come up, but they will pass, but you are still there. Do you think of the consequences it will have on you in the future? These are things that should guide our mindset so that we will know what boundaries to set for ourselves. And then also the people we even follow. There are certain people that if I see someone I know and I feel, this person I want to follow because of the content they are creating, something as little as the friend that they follow or somebody they are in touch with will make me not to follow that person because I feel this person doesn't make the space comfortable for me or safe for me. So I wouldn't want to be friends with you because the moment I'm friends with you, so maybe I'll get access to you or you'll get access to me and I don't want it. So I wouldn't be friends with you. So those are some things that we should also take note of. And sometimes there are places that we can even seek information from. Here in Kasa is there. When we don't understand anything, we can get in touch and then find some of this information. Information abounds, but it's up to us to look for the information and keep ourselves safe. Yeah.
So if you could influence one national policy on digital safety or gender-based violence, what would it be?
Okay, maybe let me. Yes, it may be existing or not existing, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So policies are protocols that we put in place to guide us. And young people have become very open, very exposed to things. So I feel that how do I put it? Key actors or authorities should put systems in place. It's just about systems because now you have even the policies existing and nobody respects that policy. But the policy that I have in mind or thinking that if it's in place will help everybody is the National Cyberspace is there. They have a policy that I say, well, how many people even know about this? That's true. But we should rather hold the telecoms, I don't know, the word is not coming. But people that are controlling some of these spaces, there should be systems in place that if something happens to anybody online, yes, maybe because you have a way of keeping it away from the person, you didn't keep it away from the person. If it's a form of abuse, I mean, though the platforms have a role to play, you the individuals, you have a role to play. So the system should know how to or figure out how to protect individuals. Something like that. I don't know, but there should be a way. And because now you have even young people who are less than 18 years or less than 13 years, and they can forge their ages online. I mean, nobody can see it here. And parents have a role to play in that space as well. And I feel that we are leaving parents out of education because we feel young people should know about it. But if the parents know about these things also, they can guide their words. If I see maybe my younger sister that she's on a certain platform that's not helpful, I should be able to tell that this is not helpful for you. But the parents see it and they feel like, oh, my word is exposed. They are modding, so they have nothing to do. But there should be policies that will protect people online, and they should be able to figure out who is forging something.
Yeah.
So that who is forging information to get access to a certain information online. Because if I come and say that I am 30 years, and maybe I'm not 30 years, or I'm 15 and I'm not 15, and or even
maybe they should require some form of identification.
Exactly. Thank you for doing that. Yes, there should be a way so that they can identify who is who.
Yeah.
And because now you find a lot of males even using female pictures and extorting funds from people, exploiting people online. How is it that they have become so many and the numbers keep growing and we can't do anything about it? We are just helpless and we are watching. And people are making this their jobs. Every morning they are online, exploiting people, extorting money from people, just because we can't catch them. So I can even decide that one day I get up, I wake up and I say, okay, I want to do this kind of job. Because people are making money out of it, you see.
And
so
there's nothing put in place to make you think twice about it.
I think one of the things that what Mavis is saying that when it comes to policies, with Ghana we are good with policies. There are so many policies, but
the implementation.
Yes, and a lot of us don't really have access and they know about it. So I feel we need to let people amplify the policies into, or make it very readable or youth-friendly for young people to easily be able to know it. So when they see this, they know that, oh, this is this. So we need to make it more accessible for young people, and then also have to make it very readable, make it youth-friendly. Also, we have to work with local NGOs or our churches. That is where most of our young people are. There's this youth groups and other stuff. We need to bring in more education, find time at our meetings and other places. We have to intensify our education so that most of them can identify some of these things and then they can, she said, make sure that they safeguard their rights and that they are able to make informed choices.
I think we've talked a lot about the online and leaving the offline. And people can protect themselves even offline. There are boundaries that we set. Sometimes you feel like we don't have a right when it comes to the people we allow in our spaces. Because this person is your mother's friend, you should just embrace the person as they are. But things don't work that way. The kind of relation that person has with your mother is not the same relation you have with you. It is their friendship, not your friendship. So people should have boundaries even when it comes to that. And we should know for how long, like how to tolerate. We shouldn't tolerate so much that it gets out of hand and then we cannot manage the situations. And then we should know how to, again, speak. Because when someone does something once and you don't complain, it means that it's okay. Twice, thrice, and you don't say anything. Then the person, you communicate to the person that, oh, we are okay with whatever is going on. Until you sit and then you feel so uncomfortable, and now it has gotten to the extent that you cannot control anymore because you've communicated a certain information to that person. So I feel like we should also know how to guard our physical spaces as well.
Okay. So, to the young person watching or listening to this podcast, what is your takeaway message for them?
I think that we have so much that we need to do. We just need to avail ourselves and learn. We should not be on the internet just to play around and then posting pictures. The internet is there for us to do so many things. We need to build upon our skills and then we need to learn. When you have any information, make sure to share it with your peers so that they can also safeguard their rights or they can safeguard their space. That is the only way that we can protect it. So let's safeguard our right by learning more and making sure that whatever we put and learn is we share with our peers.
Yes, so for the young person that is watching us out there, I would say that don't allow gender-based violence in any kind of situation or in any kind of space. It is a no-no. There's nothing to justify gender-based violence. If you feel uncomfortable in a certain space, speak up about it, take an action, don't endure it and then it gets to the point where you can't do anything about it. And if you need to talk to anybody or report any kind of case, we have legal aid, we have the Casa platform, we have Orange Support Center, we have DOSU. Just go online, Google these things, you will find their contact and be able to call so that you will complain. And then you get your situation solved. Don't allow gender-based violence. And you too don't be that perpetrator of gender-based violence, either online or in the physical spaces. Let us keep our environment and society safe for everybody to thrive. Yes.
So let me share this contact. It's the Casa toll-free number. It's 0800 20 20 10. So make sure to share it with your friends. So the number again, 0800 20 20 10. It's a toll-free number. So call and all your needs will be addressed.
Thank you for having this conversation with me, Mavis and Lisa. I'm glad to have you here. And to my listeners, hope you have followed our conversation up until this point and you have heard all you said. Do not be a perpetrator, and if you're a victim, please speak up. And like Luther said, you can always call Casa on 0800 20 20 10, and anybody you speak to on the Casa platform is going to be confidential. You don't have to know your name, you don't have to know anything personal, and you will get the help you need. Thank you. It's a bye-bye for now.